Prescott Valley. Welcome to the September 12th, 2017 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Call this meeting to order. And Brett, can we have a roll call, please?
Do we have Commissioner Fryer, or Chairperson Fryer, rather?
Here.
Commissioner Trevino?
Here.
Commissioner Brinkman?
Here.
Commissioner Avalos?
Here.
Commissioner Fallman?
Here.
And I am Commissioner Polican. Here.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item is the approval of the agenda.
Commissioner Frayer, if you would please, we're going to strike item 5B5 and exchange it for a new slide for ice skating.
Okay.
Okay, with that, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with that change.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Hearing none. Moving on, the agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes. If everybody's had a chance to review the minutes from August 8th, 2017 regular commission meeting, offer any suggestions for changes. Otherwise, I'll accept the motion for approval as written.
I'll make a motion to approve August 8th, 2017 minutes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I'll speak as loudly as I can since the microphone's not working. Moving on to...
I have to borrow, yes.
Moving on to the next item is the announcements. Brian, would you like to take it from there?
Yes, Commissioners, I would like to introduce to you a young lady that has joined our team coming from down in the valley, Ms. Brianna Hetzel. She comes to us with tremendous accolades, certified, credentialed. She's amazing. She is heading up our athletics division with activities, and so from there, I'm just going to let her have fun. But we're going to also try to get her out the door tonight because this is the final night of our corn toss league over at the event center. So believe it or not, she has to go to work again. So it's Brianna.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Aye.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Grab hold of that mic, please.
Oh, of course. So like Brian said, I've been here since April. So I've filled in Jessica's position as the athletic coordinator. So do you have any questions for me?
How many tournaments did you bring in this week?
How many what?
Tournaments did you bring to town this week?
None. Not this week. Not this
Well, I
week.
thought that would be a good question.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why don't you just tell us really quick kind of what your job entails?
So I do all the sports leagues and tournaments here for Prescott Valley. And we are actually having our field allocations meeting tomorrow. So that will start for all next year of what we're going to be doing for all of our tournaments and dedicating our fields to.
Very good.
So I guess the next question is, what does Brian do anymore?
You know, that's kind of the whole idea, Ron. So, no, I tell you what, the new group, Brady is with us tonight. You'll hear a little bit later from him. Brianna is our newest member in joining the team along with Hope, and I think that's the beauty of all of the new staff and their ideas, their energy, their passion behind things, is that they give me more to do. Commissioner Brinkman, they really are out there. They've got, again, all of those fresh ideas, excitement, and there's lots coming in store down the road. You're going to hear a little bit about a few of the new things that are coming down the road, but there's a lot more in store for all of us.
Very good.
Well, Brianna, welcome. And I would just like to say I've been on the commission a few years, so we went through this recession thing, and there just wasn't staff, and we couldn't provide the services. So I'm really glad you're here.
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
You know, we like to provide a lot of opportunities for the people in the town and the community, and I think what I see so far you doing is just going to be outstanding. So thank you and welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey. Moving on to the next items, upcoming events.
Believe it or not, she's really not that shy. Get her out there on the playing field, and she's an animal. So look out. Have fun tonight, Bree.
Thanks, you too.
All right. If you haven't noticed, hopefully you did tonight, coming into tonight's meeting, noticing over on the grounds at the Civic Center, in between the Prescott Valley Police Department, Town Hall, and the library, in the wind, there are nearly 3,000 flags representing those individuals that were lost to us 16 years ago on 9/11. We've had a host of different activities over the course of several days. In doing so, our display, known as the Healing Fields here in Prescott Valley, will continue until Friday afternoon, and then we will be taking down that display. But I would be remiss to remind you, as well as others in our listening audience, that we do have a few days remaining. Encourage everyone to be able to come out, partake in this very solemn event, and that simply is walking through our field of flags. Each one of those flags, again, does represent an individual, whether it be a citizen, a military person, first responders, as well as young people that were, unfortunately, their lives were taken from us on that tragic day. Each one of those flags has a card. It's a biography of the individual. So you can come and learn about those folks. If there's an individual that you know that was part of that incident, you will be able to find them. You'd be able to check in at our reception tent. If you have that name, we'll be able to directly get you to that flag in noticing them. Each one of those first responders or military personnel or young people that were lost that day are represented in different ways. Our military folks are represented by boots, our firefighters by their personnel boots, as well as then also our police department. Our young people are represented by teddy bears in doing that. So encourage all of you to come out, visit with us. If you'd like to look online, we can be found at healingfield.org/Prescott Valley. You can learn more. You can make donations. But please come out, be involved. This is your opportunity, again, to engage in the healing field, and it is exactly that. It's a healing opportunity for those in remembrance coming from our 9/11.
Well, thanks to you and the town and Mary Mallory for getting this started so many years ago and keeping it going over the years, because it is a solemn reminder of what those events were and the lives that were lost that day. So very proud of Prescott Valley for putting this together every year, because it's very important to me as an individual as well as an American citizen.
Well, and the beauty of this is that you can become directly involved. Starting on Friday, we encourage folks that have availability to come out at 4 o'clock. They can join with us as we take down this year's display, and would ask that they keep us in mind next year, as this is a Friday-to-Friday event. If they could join with us in 2018 on the Friday preceding September 11th, that'll be our beginning time frame in setting up next year's field. But again, joining us this Friday the 15th at 4 p.m., we'll be taking the field down and need volunteer help. That's exactly how this is done. So as a community member, you can be directly involved in supporting of this event.
Very good. Thank you, Brian.
I would like to just second that, but I want to thank Brian, you and all the staff in Parks and Rec and other town personnel that get out there along with the volunteers. There's probably, about 100 people?
Easily so, and really it's beyond that. We have fire district folk that are with us, our police department, general, and then just the general citizenry that all join together. That's a large part of the leadership team of this is general citizenry that are wanting to pay their respects. But it is those first responders and their brotherhood that draws them together and having them out here and helping through this whole process.
And we have one of those with us on the commission. But thank you all for all the volunteers and the work you guys do. This really is a big thing, not only for Prescott Valley, but for the whole community, the whole region. So,
yes, sir.
I'd like to say that reading in the paper the logistics of what your staff
My apologies. I can't hear you, Commissioner Fallman. I think your microphone is on and functioning.
Okay. I just wanted to make a mention of your staff that had to go out and put down 3,000 pieces of rebar so the flags could go on them.
Yes, ma'am.
And to have them all measured so precisely, it's quite a task, and I'm very, very impressed with our people to do this. I kudos to your staff. I think that's really wonderful.
Not a problem, and thank you for that. Thank goodness for technology as well, to be perfectly honest with you. I know actually before Commissioner Freyer was Commissioner Freyer, he and his teammate came out with technology and was able to help us begin that process of being able to set up the field. Boy, what was that, 6-7 years ago now, where we began this task. And each year, technology has helped us through that process. Matter of fact, the newest technology that we have is a new tool that has come to us from an Arizona forestry grant. We're just actually able to use it in this way. So it does aid that, but you're right. It is part of the challenge of getting 3,000 dots on the ground. There is fun with that, but it's a lot of excellent camaraderie, whether it be town staff, general volunteers, our brothers and sisters in fire and police that are all coming together to do that. So we thank you for your support and encourage others to join with us.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Led Zeppelin Tribute Band.
Yes, just like to bring everyone's attention, Saturday, September 3rd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Theater on the Green is a free concert with a Led Zeppelin tribute band. They are the cover band performing live. It's Arizona's best. It is a family-friendly event. We have our food vendor on site, food and beverage, and this is being brought to you by the Arts and Culture Commission with their free fun events and activities. If those folks are requiring more information, feel free to give us a buzz at 759-3090. Happy to answer any of the questions that you may have. But bring the lawn chairs, bring the blankets, bring the entire crew. Come out and enjoy the jams of Zeppopotopus is actually the name of their diving deep into Led Zeppelin band. And they are truly talented, a very, very neat group that does an excellent job bringing to the stage of Theater on the Green the experience of Led Zeppelin.
I did go to the first concert they had up here, and they are outstanding.
Commissioner Brinkman, I don't see you as a big Led Zeppelin fan, but
Now let's think, what year were they really cooking?
that is true, and that is true.
You probably weren't even born. But
Oh, I was a big fan.
no, they really are good. If you didn't catch the first one, you do not want to miss this.
Nice. That'll be an exciting event, and once again, what a great thing for the community and surrounding communities, too, to experience a free concert like that. Next item on the announcements or upcoming events is the art studio tours.
Yes, another program brought to you by the Prescott Valley Arts and Culture Commission. This is the Art Studio Tour. This is a program in partnership with the Mountain Artists Guild. This will be held October 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday affair, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each one of those 3 days. This program will be brought to you here at the Prescott Valley Library, upstairs in the Crystal Room. These are various artists from throughout Prescott Valley that are joining together in a studio format offered here at the town of Prescott Valley. And it'll be comprised of various artwork, jewelry, a whole host of different artistic endeavors for folks to come in, visit. Everything is for sale. That's available to you, and it is an entire tour. When we say such, it is the experience not only here in Prescott Valley, it reaches down into Dewey, Chino, and Prescott proper. So this is an entire tour of artists' studios. We just happen to be a home base for about 10 or 12 artists here in Prescott Valley, playing host for them. So it's a one-stop shopping opportunity for you.
Outstanding. Any questions on the art tour? Okay, moving on. That time of year again for the 5K for the hill of it.
Yes, have to watch that tongue twister right there. This is Saturday, October 14th. We have multiple waves scheduled, with the first one starting at 7 a.m. There is a registration fee of $20 for participants 13 and up, and $15 for participants 12 and under. We are on online registration opportunity. This will be available through October 8th, and then also on-site registration day of event. Cash only for that process. Entry fees will include a commemorative T-shirt with pre-registration on October 8th, water bottles, snacks, and other fun incentives the day of the event. Participants will register in waves, as we indicated, consisting of runners, hikers, and walkers, starting at 7 a.m. We'll gather in the parking lot at Glassford Hill Middle School, and shuttle services from the trailhead back to the parking lot. Now, due to the steep terrain, we do encourage those for the benefit of all participants that are four-legged friends and strollers. They will not be permitted on the course during the activities of the event that day. For more information, please visit us online at pvaz.net, as well as to register, or give us a buzz again at the department at 759-3090. And we'll be happy to answer any other questions or concerns you might have as it relates to the 5K for the hill of it on Glassford Hills Summit Trail.
Very good. I know last year was a very successful year, and looking forward to seeing how this year's turnout is. Next item would be the ice skating that you mentioned.
Yes. Mr. Brady's here. This is one of his challenges, but he is wanting to introduce to everyone the opportunity to join his ice team. Brady, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think interviews are ready for the last week of September. No experience is necessary. We'll certify and train you on all those goodies. So tell us more.
That's correct. No experience is necessary. We teach people how to skate if we have to. We do have ice skates available for staff. So if you don't have ice skates, you've never skated before, if it sounds like it's something for you, come on out. We're excited for this upcoming season. We're looking and hoping to have a few more hours than last year. And the season is looking like it's shaping up to be about November through January. We're excited. Again, the postings are up right now online at pvaz.net. Looking for interviews the last week of September, so go ahead, apply, and we'll be in touch with you.
And what positions are open? I mean, and there's a wide variety, I know.
Ice staff, and then our ice staff managers. So both are on the ice, both are up front interacting with customers, helping them with skate issues. So we go through the whole training process, whether they're a returner, they know how to skate, they get the whole kit and caboodle in the training department.
Okay.
Past years I've gone to the skating rink, they've had wonderful staff members, so I applaud you and
Yeah, thank you.
all the staff at the ice skating rink. It's just a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful program for our community. So.
And we're looking forward to having the schedule ready the first week of October. So look online also at pvaz.net. And we'll have that again at the October Commission meeting as well.
Very good. Sure, we get a lot of young people applying. That'd
Definitely.
be great.
And Commissioner Fallman, per your request, we have reserved voluntarily the position of boot sanitizer for Commissioner Gummer. So if there's anything more I can assist you with on that, please let me know.
Perfect.
That's very, very fine of you. That'll keep the fragrance in an appropriate level.
I'm thinking maybe I should go to learn how to stop, because skating's never been my problem, but stopping.
Stopping is the issue. Understood.
Can stop easily.
You just sit down.
I slam right into the wall.
Sit down.
I always thought if I tried to cut my feet like that, I'd probably snap my ankles. So
Stopping is always the hardest thing to teach our staff. So we spend the most time working on that skill.
Very good. Well, thank you for being here and letting us know about the opportunities.
Thank you.
See, I told you this was a go staff now.
That's right. No stop.
The recreation department is just outstanding.
They are.
It really is amazing what we offer.
Okay, moving on. Department updates. Director's report.
Truthfully, I have nothing further to add to my written report at this time. I am very, very happy to answer any questions that you might have. I think the biggest element of that, and you see it on your agenda, Staff is very much underway in regards to the development of the 2016-17 annual report. We have it on schedule to present to you at next month's meeting, immediately then following a presentation by the Commission and staff to Town Council on Thursday, October 19th. So if you would please add that to your calendars, and look forward to working with you on that process. In addition to that, I'm happy to have, if there are any elements that you would like to make sure are inclusive in that report for your review and digestion, please feel free to give me a call, send me an email, but we will be continuing to follow the format that had been developed in prior years, continuing that forward, and making that a complete and total report reflecting all the different elements that have occurred throughout that year. Also the fun of being able to announce new staff members, new members of our staff's families, all of those fun things, as well as then additions of new commissioners and advancements, capital programs, all of those kinds of good things. So that is what is on store for our annual report that will be given to you next month. But beyond that, if the Commission has any questions on my report or the department's report as a whole, I'd be happy to answer those now.
I have one question, Brian. I know that Brianna's been involved, I think, with the pickleball issue come up. Do you have anything to add to that? And the reason I ask is because I know pickleball has been a growing sport over the last year or two, and I don't think we have enough courts around here, but even at my weekly realtor meetings, I'm hearing a lot of folks talking about pickleball and telling us how it started with the dog named Pickle and all that stuff, which I didn't know until very recently. So do you have anything to add to tonight's meeting about any upcoming excitement on the pickleball front?
Yes, not much more to add beyond what was shared with you and the Commission approved in presenting to the Town Council at the September 21st meeting, and that is that partnership for the development, potential development of courts there at Antelope Park. So that presentation will definitely be taking place for engagement with them, getting a little additional directive on how that could come to pass. Beyond that, I know Brianna is working with an instructor that we have. We actually began some things this summer. Unfortunately, with a lot of the construction that was taking place there at the high school, which was our instruction site, it made things very challenging for all parties. And that's of no fault of students or instructor. It was just simply because of the activity that was going on at that particular site. So until dedicated courts are established, we would still be working in partnership with Humboldt Unified School District there, as well as our instructor. As the fall season goes, this is not a lit facility, so there would be some additional limitations there as well. So that is the largest part of what I can bring update to as it relates to pickleball, besides Pickles herself. So.
Brian, I have a comment to make about your report. I was really upset and dismayed that you had all this trouble with young people when you have movies under the stars. They were causing problems and excess trash and behaving poorly. Do we have anybody that polices that when you have movies under the stars?
We do, and outside influences to an outdoor public event is unfortunately a nuance to work with. During a lot of our events, we do have our volunteers in policing, and that they provide that direct connectivity and intermediary without having to involve our police department, which I think is a very positive and engaging part of our program. So when we do have those type of influences, we can reach out in that way. So that's part of our proactive approach to being able to help assist in doing that, as well as then also staff engagement as well too.
Very good. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to the chairperson's report. I'd like to make the formal announcement that on Saturday, September 30th, on the Glassford Hills Summit Trail, from 8 a.m. till noon, a group of volunteers will be meeting to do maintenance on the Glassford Hills Summit Trail. The recent rains, heavy monsoons have caused a lot of erosion, so it'll just be a tidying up of the trail, a four-hour workday. We'll be meeting at the trailhead on site and hiking up to do the work. Currently, at the moment, the mountain bike teams from Canyon View Prep Academy and Bradshaw Mountain High School have committed to assist, but we invite all the community members out to come and give us a hand. It's a 2.5 mile trail, but we can knock it out quick. You know, many hands makes light work, so if anybody has some free time and wants to experience the trail in a different manner, feel free to come out and help us. It's also in conjunction with National Trails Day, which is something the Forest Service recognizes all over the country, so it's separate from the Forest Service, but we are recognizing National Trails Day as well with this effort.
And I believe there is no pre-registration requirement. It's just gather with us there at the trailhead, and
Correct.
Again, many hands make light work. So
yes, and I assume that the announcement will be on pvaz.net, so the public that may be interested can find the details there or call the Parks and Rec Department and get their questions answered on meetup times.
Anything special need to be brought with the volunteers, or any tools or equipment or anything like that?
I would say closed-toe shoes, jeans, work gloves, hydration. None of that will be provided. So it is, 2.5 miles from the trailhead to the top. So, and Indian summer could be upon us. So let's hydrate well and bring enough to keep you hydrated as you work. Okay, that's it for my report for this month. Moving on to the Tree Advisory Board chairperson report, which is also me. Lucky. Proud to announce the Arizona Forestry Tree Grant has been awarded to the town of Prescott Valley. It's in the amount of $12,500 for training, equipment, planting, community outreach, whatever all-encompassing needs for tree education and awareness and furthering our cause will come to the town in the coming year. So very proud of that. Thank you, Brian and staff for making that application and getting us out there.
Yes. Believe it or not, also accolades go out to former Commissioner Dana Diller, as he is continuing to provide his support to the Tree Advisory Committee in doing that, and he's actively going to assist us, as he is also a certified arborist. So he'll be joining with us and aiding in that training, as well as some site assessments on some trees.
Very nice. It's always great to have him involved. Okay. Any questions regarding those two reports? No? Okay. Moving on to item 8, old business, capital project updates.
Yes, Bob Edwards Park. If you were not present to see this flying through the air as it's demonstrated on our slide this evening, is our restroom facility. It was a modular unit, came in 2 separate pieces, fully developed, ready to go. It was set in site, and in less than 24 hours, the connections were made, and it was in full operation. So very happy to have that, as it was the final leg of the park's development, and again, we're moving right along with that. The one element that is holding up full total use of the park, and that is just literally the establishment of its living element, and that is its turf. It is definitely coming on strong. From the roadway, it looks gorgeous, and if you come down on field, it is definitely filling in, but not filling in to the level that is required. And when I say that, it definitely can be used, but we are still restricting use of the field from our athletic programs, just trying to expedite that growth and development that's going to take place, as well as keep all of our young people and athletes and officials safe. We do not want to see them injured by rolling an ankle or tripping and falling in a manner that's unnecessary. So our efforts are still quite diligent. I think, as you all know, July was quite rainy, which was very beneficial. That's where we saw a nice big push in the growth and development of that turf. But August has been rather cruel in regards to higher temperatures and all of that fun that comes with that. So we could not get enough water on there to sustain that growth that we were seeing in the month of July. So what we'll be doing, as we typically always do, but with a little higher focus, especially on Bob Edwards, because it's simply new, we'll be coming back in and providing a fourth seeding to the site, as well as a very strong fertilization schedule. You'll remember back when we were working on American Legion Park, same type of process went through. We had a spring development, transition through the summer months, the heat of the summer that came through, fall seeding followed, the very next spring, a very wonderful, lush and thick lawn. Our expectations will be the same for this particular site as well, and that fall program that we have in store for it. So if those members of our community are reaching out to you and asking why not yet, it sure looks good. It does, but not to the point and level of operation from an athletic standpoint of doing such. Other than that, the park is entirely open. I've been amazed at 8:30, quarter to 9 o'clock at night, the dozens of cars that are in the parking lot using the walking path, using the playground, and now, over the course of the past couple weeks, now using the bathroom as well. So we are totally operational and enjoying that wonderful park that we have now in the central core of Prescott Valley.
Very good. The need has been filled for sure.
Brian, I'd like to make a comment about Bob Edwards Park. I received a call from a senior couple that drive to that park every evening and walk it with their dog. And they called me because they know I usually am here, and to tell you how much they appreciate that park and especially how clean it is. And I think that might be something to bring back to your staff, that they really love the idea that it's so pristine. And I think that's great. What a great compliment. Also, on my behalf only, there's a lot of writing on the base of those restrooms. How is that going to be taken care of?
Yes, on the base of the restrooms, that foundation pad was information as it related to the manufacture of that site. So there is some finished grading that still has to take place, and then you'll have the landscaping that will negate any visibility of that as well, too.
Oh, how much I love writing on the restrooms.
Yes, ma'am. I agree wholeheartedly. And that speaks really also to the pristineness of that particular site, and I think it reflects in regards to the use that that site has. It pushes away that negative element of those that simply do not believe that a trash can is necessary and throw their litter out on the ground, as well as those that feel that they need to autograph certain portions of public infrastructure, which we all know we do not want to see.
Or paint flowers, you know, my history with paint.
There you go. Yes. So in doing that, so I think that's to be applauded by the surrounding neighborhood and the park and the folks that come to that particular park and use those amenities. So I think that thanks needs to be actually given back to those that are thanking us, because I think that's the reflection of positive use and community engagement.
I'd like to also make a comment as well. I can completely agree with Elaine's statement there. I did have the opportunity to visit the park this weekend. Did a couple laps around that trail, and everything seems to be filling in very nicely. Has a real nice, pleasant aesthetics to it. I did notice the ramada was in full use. The playground facility was also in full use. There was families out with their picnic baskets laid out across the field, and everybody was out there doing laps as well. So it's really a great addition to this community, and it's really good to see it being utilized the way it is.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And Dan, when the athletic field comes in full play and the lights are on and everybody can continue and grow more fun and utilization at that particular site, I think it will truly, and pardon no pun on this one, shine, because I truly think it is a gem that's up and coming for Prescott Valley.
Absolutely. Any other questions or comments regarding Bob Edwards? Okay, moving on to the next item, mower update.
Yes, just wanted to let everyone know it is in hand. I actually had the privilege of Labor Day being able to utilize the new mower. I mowed the site here in preparation for the healing fields, and it is a mowing machine. So truly appreciate that. We've been able to put the previous unit into action for weed abatement and some of our other general areas throughout our park system, and then also retired the unit before that was serving in the weed abatement capacity. So it is being very well utilized. Large number of the staff are just enthralled in having it, and it works very similar to that of our large unit, our wide area mower, in regards to the fact that it has independent mowing decks. So it is a very contoured mowing piece of equipment, so it helps minimize large single decks that can scalp the grass or leave varying heights based upon what terrain it's navigating. So very, very pleased with it.
Very good. Glad to hear that. Next update's the Ramada Casa Park.
Yes. Again, on slide for this evening, this is a representation of what our new Ramada is that's coming into Community Center Park, also known as Casa, home of our Central Arizona Senior Association. If you remember traveling back, and I know we did it on some of our field sites, we had 3 very, very small units out there, kind of homemade construction, if you will, that were in need of more repairs than necessary. So we're abating those and replacing them with this modern structure that will last us several good solid years. We're moving all of the tables under that one single unit. This unit will also have ADA accessibility with a poured sidewalk coming to it that none of our other 3 units had there at the park. And it'll be a very positive improvement out there. The pad's already currently in place, and the Ramada should be erected at the end of this week and ready for use. It'll also incorporate a solar light fixture, so it'll be lit at night, which again is another amenity that the previous structures did not have. So very excited to have it on board and ready to rock and roll by this weekend.
Was that a staff install or a vendor install?
This is a turnkey unit, so we have a vendor installing, pouring the pad,
Nice.
installing the unit. It's a solar light system. Park staff will be coming behind and making the ADA walkway access connection that'll be coming off of the same ADA access route to the playground adjoining the site.
Very good. Very good. Any questions regarding the Ramada?
That's in replacement of the 3 that were in the perimeter. Any plans to, are those under concrete pads as well? The 3
those have, yes. Each one of those 3 had very small concrete pads, basically to accept the picnic table themselves. So those units, as well as the pads, will be removed, and they will take the turf and those area and the excavation materials. Will fill in those sites. We'll turf them. As we discussed in prior meeting, we'll be making some upgrades to our irrigation system and extending our turf there, removing some of those barren sites there at the park. So just continual improvements, and this happens to be assisting with a large part of that.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item is parking lot update.
Yes, we were under the pretenses that with our chip seal program that we were going to have a little more timely response. Unfortunately, it looks like the program is being pushed back until about mid-October. As I reported last month, I felt that was going to be completed by mid-September, so I apologize for that. Timelines have changed a little bit, but we're still underway. The 3 parking lots that will be chipped and sealed are Fane, Tonto North, as well as then
American Legion.
American Legion. Thank you very much for that.
Very good. Any other questions regarding the parking lot? Gypsy Lane? Nope. Okay, moving on. Aquatics report.
All right. I know the swimming season is quickly coming to an end. We're wrapping up for the swim team season, but poor Mr. Brady Peck's work will not be ending. He has 3 very significant projects on his plate to be completed over the duration of this fall and spring. First, he has some roof renovations that he's out to bid with right now, working with our facilities team and getting that completed. We're also going to be making some repairs to the top portion of the slide tower and that fiberglass slide structure that we have. So again, bids are also in works with that. And then finally, he's going to be updating our chemical control systems there at the pool. So he's going to be working with a number of vendors in regards to the brains of the operation, if you will, and getting those items up to date, which will aid him and his staff in regards to service to our patrons there at the pool. So those are our 3 large capital projects that will be in works throughout the fall and spring durations leading into next season. So once this season completes, he'll be having fun.
So just for clarification, the slide repairs didn't have anything to do with the gel coating that was placed a year ago?
No, the gel coatings work perfectly fine. This is actually the step-in element, so we'll be working on that replacement.
Okay.
Any feedback or any input from the community or any of the employees about the fees or the fee increases, anything like that over this last year?
In regards to that, we're going to present to you this evening some attendance numbers reflecting of that. We pretty well hit a large majority of our goals. I'm not going to steal a lot from the joint presentation that Brady and I will give to you for that. Without a doubt, there was some positive and negative that all came from that, but ultimately the need that Commission was reviewing and needed to address and come up with a game plan for, I think we'll be able to present to you met task.
Good. Any other questions regarding aquatics?
Did we ever determine what the pool life is? At some point, the maintenance is going to be astronomical, and really there needs to be a replacement.
You have a number of different factors in play, and I know council's had some discussions as it regards this. You have maintenance factors, you have service numbers, a lot of things in play. Facilities can range in life between 20 and 30 years. We're definitely entering that 20-year factor and growing into it. Staff has done an admirable job in regards to continue working through those systems. That's why we're making those investments in the chemical controls unit as it goes. And we've gone through on multiple years in regards to the filtration system and making those updates and repairs and service. I know we had some fun ones this year as well too in doing that. Thank you, Brady, for your help. So in doing those little rascals. So right now we're there, but it has not reached a total necessity, but I think some planning and forecasting should definitely be part of that process for us.
Yeah, it seems like we should be planning and forecasting that maybe at least 5 years out or so. I don't know.
Yes, I think that along with some of our other infrastructure items, and that is largely in part why we do go through 5-year capital analysis and planning and trying to forecast out some of those elements. And a lot of times that comes into play with many, many other elements that we have coming forward.
Very good.
Are we having fun, buddy? Okay.
We're having a couple technical difficulties, so we'll pause for a sec. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Boys and Girls Club expansion update.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, you will be seeing advertised solicitations for contractors to begin a review and budget submission for the expansion of the Boys and Girls Club. What you have in front of you tonight is an illustration of what will hopefully come to pass, and that is through this expansion, a connective corridor to a full-size MBA gymnasium, as well as then following, when that's done and said, within 12 months following that construction, then also a renovation of the interior of the existing facility. All of this would be done in cooperative partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, who we've had a relationship for the last 20 years operating at that site. They've been at capacity for the last year and a half. This is more than warranted in regards to that growth taking place there. Lots of young people and families utilizing those services and needing more and being able to serve more in this capacity of things. It's anticipated that our construction schedule or bid schedule with this is that staff will be presenting to council at the end of October with recommendation for award of contract, then with a construction schedule that would allow opening sometime in June of 2018. So we're very excited about this and the various partners that are coming to play, assisting either via donations or construction. So we're very excited, and our partners at the Boys and Girls Club are top-notch. I know you got to meet Gerald last month, and he and his team are just good people, and they're doing great things over there. And very excited to see what our future will come to pass in the next 6 to 8 months with this facility. I know it's been part of the vision plan for, at least a decade or more. And so I can't say enough about my boss, Deputy Town Manager Ryan Judy, and writing and securing and having the grant awarded to him, and then the efforts that are being taken place by staff and the team over at the Boys and Girls Club, because they're coming to meet task, and so we're very excited about what the future is going to hold here for us.
Will the grant cover the cost of the new addition and then the renovation of the old, or additional funds be needed?
The grant is forecasted really to focus more on the gymnasium side of things. And then as well as a portion of the connective corridor between the two buildings. That is within where the Boys and Girls Club really takes over in doing that. In totality, you're probably looking at a $1 to $1.2 million project with a grant funding of roughly $650,000. That balance is being borne by the Boys and Girls Club. Wow. So they are a true partner in this, as well as then also the contributions of some of the other connective partners that are starting to come to light. So it's a very exciting project, and I think come June and a ribbon cutting ceremony and all of the things that are being built upon right now, you'll be very excited and proud of all of the folks that are going to really make this a very strong and positive reality for our community.
The Boys and Girls Club is so important to this community, and this is just outstanding.
So will the exterior of the existing structure be getting a facelift?
Yes, our intent is to make this look like one total brand new unit going through that process, so there will have that uniformity across the board. And there are some elements of this that aren't reflected, but we're really trying to look and create it as a Boys and Girls Club. It is the property of the town, and they are a leasee of that, but we're partners in this community in doing that, so it also should be reflective of them as well. and so in doing all of those good things. So we're very excited about what it holds.
Great addition.
It is exciting time. Got any other questions? None. We'll move on to new business. And we get to see Mr. Brady Peck again with his end of season report on the Aquatics.
Mr. Peck is going to present to you a general synopsis. This is not final by any means. Our operating season is still in play with a number of different specialty classes, swim team, those types of things. So it's going to be a general presentation in regards to focusing on 3 areas. The first will be open swim. And it's going to be looking at each of our categories and totality of service. In doing that, we'll also look at some of our specialty programs and then also focusing on swim lessons as another one of our mainline service areas. So Brady, if you would join with me here at the podium. I think the main thing to reflect upon, I think right off the start, if you'll allow me, is to really look, and we just did a comparison of last year of activity, and the upper square here reflects impacts in regards to closure. We have total closure of the facility. Your July and June dates. June of 16 is in blue, June of 17 in red, which you will see no red.
None at all. We had a beautiful June.
Yep. And then July of 2016 in green and July of 2017 in purple. Your bar graph there to the left indicates days in which closure occurred. We have total closure, early closure, which means that we had to close early and were unable to open after being open to the public. And then we also have a closure and reopen where we were closed, but due to a clearing and passing, safety, health conditions, we were able to reopen the facility. There are always challenges with that, as you tend to lose everyone because they're basically said, well, their day's done, but
correct.
We were able to get right back into it, either operating other services or impacting just sections thereof. But it's important for you to know that information as it has direct impact in regards to attendance or participation in other means. So you saw a very significant impact as it relates to July, which is truly the heart of our season. That's when it's hottest. That's when a lot of activity takes place. We had total closures of roughly about 14, 15 total days out of our season, which is very limited. We had early closures right around 7 or 8, as well as then closures in which we could not open as originally scheduled, but then were able to reopen later in the day of almost that equal amount of 7 to 8 days. So adding those numbers together, we had direct impact in regards to closure or total closure for an easy 20 to 25 days out of our limited season. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Brady so that he can reflect to you open swim, swim lessons, and then our specialty programs. And yes, I apologize for the neck stretching this evening that you're having to endure. Unfortunately, in one of our storms, we lost your presentation monitor. So for our viewing public's understanding of why everyone's turning, leaning back, or tilting their head one way or the other.
Has nothing to do with you, Brian.
Yes, in this case, it has nothing to do with me.
That be known.
I appreciate that. All right, Brady.
All right. So as Brian mentioned, we did face a number of days in July that weather impacted our operation. And just looking the difference between 2016, 2017, 2016, we had a few days, which is average. In 2017, it was right around after the 4th of July that it just started raining, and it felt like it never stopped. And the few days it didn't rain, it always looked like it would rain, which kept people from coming to the pool, because why come to the pool when you're going to get kicked out after 15 minutes due to the weather? And our policies squarely centered around safety, and we do have to wait 30 minutes after we do close before we can allow people back into the facility, so that every time we have lightning, thunder, within 6 miles, we do have to restart that 30-minute clock. So we can hit 29 minutes and then boom, and have another 30 minutes. So it's really dynamic, and we don't know. People will call and they get frustrated because they want to know, are you open now? Will you be open in half an hour? We truly don't know because monsoon storms are so unpredictable here. Then moving over to our numbers side, with the child and the family sections, you'll notice that there are no numbers for 2017. We did combine those into our youth category. The child went into youth, and then family, we eliminated that category. As you can see, it's a very small bar, and they had to pay individual admission. Our youth is way up. Looks that way. Once you add in the child category, it's close, but we still did exceed our numbers with youth this year than over 2016. Adults were up slightly as we're seniors. Our total numbers for June, we did exceed 2016 numbers this year in June. We did see a little bit of a downtick during the Goodwin fire that last week of June. We had a number of staff, almost 30% of our staff were affected either by evacuations or pre-evacuation orders. So we were scrambling that week to make sure we could operate, as well as we had a number of patrons that were signed up for our programs and couldn't make it in because they were evacuated, or a number of different situations, as you know, with that. So we did in that, and you will see with our Learn to Swim program, both of those did affect our numbers as well. And then the drop-off in the total number is very evident. July 2016 to July 2017, that green to that purple bar in the bottom graph, drop-off of over 1,000 patrons. So we did have challenges with the weather. The days we were able to operate, we did operate, but we typically did see a lot lower participation than in June.
So overall, in comparison between the 2 years, we felt that this year was very positive from the standpoint simply of a combination of the Goodwin fire, as well as then an extremely rainy with a very significant number of days of total closure that would have had direct correlation to the overall numbers. So with all of those factors, we felt that it was a very balanced season for us in comparison to last year.
It looks like a very good season. I mean,
all things considered,
yes.
yes.
At the impact of the weather and the other situation, all the challenges that you go through, it looks like an outstanding season. I was just trying to glean from that if some of those numbers obviously shifted because we modified the fee schedule, and I don't see a huge impact in that. So
but we're not feeling that way either, because again, as total attendance really shares the bigger story, that's where we're seeing that shift or that dynamic really more so occurred within the month of July, where all of those major impacts were felt. So what we're seeing is again going back to that balanced season between the two. I mean, we could run general numbers and then add those two. We could show where we might have been based upon trend analysis. We will get that number as we go later on into our year and completion of our year. But with currently what's being demonstrated, we felt very positive with things. When you lose 14, 15 days in your season in a total closure, not to mention then 7 days of early or partial closure, that has direct ramifications on what your end is. And we felt very positive about it.
yeah, very challenging year, but the numbers look outstanding as always. I mean, looks like a very successful year.
Absolutely. It was a successful year. We had a great staff that when we were able to open and be at capacity, they were outstanding. did a great job of preventative lifeguarding, preventing accidents before they even happened this year. So really thankful to the staff at the pool, and they were the ones that really made it happen, and year after year continue to make it happen.
So the staff is, a large percentage is new each year, right?
It ranges. This year we did have a lot of turnover from last year, and it just varies from high school graduations, and as they get further on in their college career, they go off on internships and start looking at what they want to do as a career instead of coming back and doing their high school summer job. This year we did have the majority of our lifeguards were new. Out of 29 lifeguards, 25 of them were brand new and certified by us this summer, which is a lot higher than in previous years. 2016 saw 16 out of approximately 30 new guards, so turnover was 50% last year, and this summer it was very high. It's ebb and flow. Next year, hopefully, we're down around 40% turnover, so we hope to only certify 10 to 12. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because it's a unique challenge each year.
Well, it shows that your training is really outstanding to have that safe a season with that high a turnover.
Yes. The fun is, that especially in parks and recreation, if you hire a freshman, you probably have them for 3 or 4 years. You hire a junior, you have them for 1, maybe 2. And then if they're a local college student or a college student that comes back home during the summer, not all of them do. So that's the fun and challenge that we have. And you're right. If our foundation is solid in regards to our training, our knowledge base, Brady himself, he was new this year. And so that was part of the fun. And we produced a season in which folks understood, accepted, times were changing, payroll rates were changing, everyone's a beneficiary, and the commission and council were challenged in regards to how do we accommodate all of those things. And I think that this reflects that the public understood that. They would still continue to participate and utilize the services and facilities that are available to them. Okay. Next, we have our swim lessons. So this was a definite changed program. Not only, as we indicated earlier, there were changes that needed to take place as it relates to paying our personnel, but also then moving our programs and services into the marketplace in relationship to others and providing similar services. As you know, our services are actually broader than our competitors are. So we know that we bring a good product to the table. We just made sure that our marketplace was appropriately deemed, as well as making sure that our personnel were paid properly in doing such. Again, largest components of impact to us came in the month of July, where we had some downturns. Each one of those bars represents session periods. Comparing 2016 to 2017, we knew we were going to have some initial hit in regards to folks that would not look to us for programming services just because of cost in doing such. But we also were impacted in regards to the fire as well as weather and closures, in which we had reduction in service as well. Overall, we were down roughly about 250, if my memory serves, Brady, in doing that, in total registrations, but comparatively between the years as total registration goes. And a fair number of that took place on the front end with Session 1 and Session 2. Operation where weather wasn't that, but price definitely was. But we maintained, grew a little bit in Session 3, and Session 4 was a rain out, if you will, in doing that. So there was some there, but we also met our other objectives too, in regards to personnel and income.
No, this looks great too. I mean, I think we anticipated just exactly what you see up there, and that looks like a very successful season.
Do you have anything else, Brady?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one, Brian. It's it was a little bit low to start off, and which we anticipated, and then the biggest thing with the session 4 of the Purple Bar is we had a number of families that were in session 3, which happened right in the middle of the Goodwin fire, that called and said we can't even get up there because the highway is closed, we're evacuated, we're in Phoenix, whatever the situation might be. So we were able to accommodate everyone and move them into session 4, which reduced our session 4 registrations because we just moved them over to accommodate their situation.
All right. And the last slide for tonight is going to be focusing on our specialty services. These are aerobics and lap swim. We had some adjustment in fees, not a significant amount. Again, our colorization compares your June with blue and red of 16-17, as well as then July numbers as well. And again, across the board, and a large part of monsoon season comes in our afternoons and evenings. So there was definite impact there in doing so. But in overall comparisons, what was planned for from that cause-effect relationship?
Absolutely. The rain played a huge factor. We have AM and PM aerobics. Our AM aerobics, we didn't have to cancel any. They start at 9 a.m. in the morning, and they were able to conclude by 10 when we didn't have any morning showers this year. The evening was a completely different story. That took place from 6 to 7 p.m., and there were a number of weeks where we didn't even have PM aerobics just because we had to close early due to the storms. And then there were also days where the storms concluded by 4:30, but they left it so cool that we had no one show up for the PM aerobics. That was the biggest contributor to our decline in July 2017 over 2016. And again, the Goodwin fire did have some effect on our June numbers. So the weather hit us hard here. In the PM numbers, we didn't separate out AM from PM. The AM numbers were very, very close to 2016. It was the evening numbers that just took the huge hit due to the weather.
Oh, yeah. Indoor facility would clear up some of that.
Yes, and then when your estate planning comes to pass with your $27 million endowment, we'll greatly appreciate that.
And Commissioner Brinkman, we truly appreciate you standing out there with a large umbrella for us.
I don't think there's one quite big enough, but it looks like just an outstanding season. And, congratulations to you, Brady. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And again, the congratulations goes to my staff. They did a great job bringing me up to speed, as this was my first season here, and also helping out our new guards and bringing them up to speed with everything and making sure everyone's trained and up to what we call our standards and not just the bare minimum. So it was truly thanks to the staff that made Mountain Valley Splash run as well as it did this year.
Very good. It was a successful season, and appreciate all your hard work in managing all the environmental aspects of the job as well. That's probably one of the toughest parts, I would imagine. So.
I think he iced it.
Oh, rim shot.
Any further questions?
Thank you, Brady. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks for hanging around.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes care of the Aquatics end of season report. Moving on to our next item, work study meetings.
Yes, staff would like to engage the commission, see if there's interest in any of the following 3 potential work study meetings. Typically, we've established an annual park tour focusing in the fall, identifying a number of different sites that you would have interest in review, as well as then also any event or budget planning input for consideration, as well as reflection with staff. And then last but not least, then review in regards to completed efforts as well as future planned efforts for the tree advisory planning group. So those would be the three different opportunities that would be available for establishment of work study if the commission so chose.
Any suggestions, ideas, thoughts?
Let's see, when did we do our last annual
Park tour?
It was February? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, but we were late, right?
Yes, that coincided with some construction elements that we wanted to focus on at Bob Edwards. With that not being the planned case for any future park development going on, that table could be either minimized or ramped up. So really it's all up to you if you wanted to get together in an October or November time frame or
Before the holidays or after them, really?
October. September is just alligators, but October wouldn't be bad for me.
So,
would you like for staff to propose again, if it still functions, mid-morning Saturday?
yes.
And then propose out a couple of dates intertwined amongst some of our other events and activities, assuring that we could focus on that. Then in the meantime, if commission would want to reflect back to staff, letting them know of some particular sites that they would like to have considered for that agenda's development. I know staff would appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll focus on mid to late October, early November.
Late October would be best.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Staff will definitely look at that and get it into the planning.
Okay, and as in regards to event and budget planning, would the commission like to entertain ideas of dates for that, or?
The window on that begins in October and will flow through basically December, January. Thereafter, then all of those budgetary numbers are formulated and then entered into the system and then begin moving forward. So any dialogue prior to that timeline would be best.
And nothing saying we can't discuss those items on our park tour as well, correct?
That would be true as well. We just need to identify those, or that would be a matter of the process of the park tour and review.
Okay.
Yes, so they could definitely be one and the same as they have been in past tours and discussion points, yes.
Okay. It's great to have a captive audience, so.
Very true.
And there is a little time in between.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, very good. Looking forward to the dates that can be worked out, and hopefully everybody's calendar can work with suggested dates, and we'll get quorum and make it happen. Any other questions, suggestions for work study meetings? Seeing none. Any other items that need to be brought up?
I think other than that, if there would be any interest, maybe perhaps after the holidays, sometime in January or February, that tree advisory planning discussion. And that way we could just review what has been accomplished, what still has come to pass, and then begin some of that 1 to 3 year forecasting.
All right. Yes, I think that would be helpful. Okay. Other new business to bring up? Seeing none. Any unscheduled public appearances? The mouse in the corner says no. So our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, October 10th, 2017, 6:30 here in the council chambers / auditorium. At this time, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.